You know, it is a shakedown. It is a targeted attack, but Shannon needs to have some accountability because he gave them something to shake down. He gave them something to target by making poor choices.
He says the sexual allegations against him are, quote, false and disruptive.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly.
Shannon Sharpe, a name etched in sports history and dominating commentary circuits, suddenly found himself at the epicenter of a seismic shockwave. One moment, he was the celebrated analyst. The next, his world imploded under the weight of explosive allegations and a staggering $50 million lawsuit. The claims were deeply disturbing, threatening to erase a lifetime's work and shatter his public image. In situations like these, most high-profile figures retreat, issuing muted denials through legal teams. But Sharpe? He ripped up the crisis management playbook and stepped directly into the inferno, live in front of the entire world. His response wasn't just a defense, it was an unprecedented public counteroffensive that nobody saw coming.
Shaq don't like Shannon Sharpe? Holy, that's a good one.
They're out there releasing pages and pages of text messages. They're out there releasing audio. It looks to me like both sides are engaged in.
Sharpe wasn't navigating this minefield alone. His attorney, Cynthia Torres, a formidable former federal prosecutor with a reputation for dismantling false claims, joined the live stream. She outlined their aggressive counter strategy, subpoenas demanding original digital evidence from devices, a thorough forensic audit of any audio recordings presented by the accuser, and, critically, a countersuit for defamation and tortious interference. This wasn't just about defense, it was about flipping the script and holding the accusers accountable. In another startling move, Torres promised unprecedented transparency, pledging to release deposition transcripts online almost immediately after each session. The goal was clear: control the narrative by flooding the public domain with sworn testimony, leaving little room for rumor to breed. Legal experts watching in real time acknowledged the boldness but also the immense risk. Opening the books this wide meant any single inconsistency, however minor, could be seized upon and amplified, potentially detonating his entire defense. And what happened next would prove just how high the stakes were.
Shannon Sharpe, if you got a gay tape out there of you like inhaling a... I don't know if you gay, I think you straight, you feel me? But if you got anything of the sort, apologize to Shaq. He gonna find it.
While Sharpe broadcast his defense to the world, the accuser's camp struck back hard. Their legal team didn't mince words, condemning the livestream as a trial by influencer, accusing Sharpe of leveraging his fame and fortune to manipulate public perception before the legal process could even begin. They countered Sharpe's evidence dump with their own bombshells, releasing a series of explicit text messages. These messages, they argued, painted a picture of a pre-existing consensual adult relationship, complete with role-playing language and fantasy scenarios. The intent was clear: to recontextualize the allegations within a complex, perhaps volatile dynamic. Furthermore, disturbing descriptions of the alleged encounters began to surface, characterizing them as aggressive and brutal, adding a visceral, damaging layer to the claims. Advocacy groups quickly weighed in, denouncing Sharpe's public offensive as an intimidation tactic aimed at silencing a potential victim through sheer star power. The narrative had fractured, revealing two starkly opposing realities.
They tried to make me look guilty and played into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media.
The clash of narratives ignited a firestorm online and in the media. Sharpe himself took aim at certain outlets and commentary channels, accusing them of irresponsibly amplifying the allegations without due diligence, celebrating a touchdown before the replay confirmed the catch, as he put it. He argued that repeating claims morphed into presenting innuendo as fact. The public reacted intensely, splitting almost down the middle. Social media platforms became digital battlegrounds flooded with passionate arguments for both sides. Fan communities on Reddit and Discord transformed into crowdsourced investigative units, dissecting every screenshot, debating metadata from Sharpe's exhibits, and cross-referencing flight paths. This gamification of a serious legal crisis underscored the strange intersection of celebrity scandal, digital sleuthing, and public fascination. The court of public opinion was officially in session and the verdict was anything but unanimous, but this digital chaos was having very real consequences.
trying to litigate this in the media before litigating it in a court of law.
If you're 54, you have no reason to be talking to a 19-year-old. She's 22 now. Shannon is 56. I'm so glad that audio of Monique went viral yesterday because it's true.
The shockwaves radiated outwards, shaking the foundations of Sharpe's professional empire. Intense speculation surrounded his popular debate show. Ironically, ratings spiked, a phenomenon dubbed the curiosity bump, as viewers tuned in amidst the controversy. Behind the scenes, however, network executives scrambled, reportedly drafting contingency plans and lining up backup hosts. The dilemma was stark. Removing Sharpe risked alienating viewers, but keeping him risked appearing insensitive to the serious allegations. His lucrative endorsement deals also hung in the balance. Whispers of a major energy drink brand freezing its partnership circulated, although Sharpe publicly dismissed them. Other sponsors initiated reviews under their contract's morality clauses, their legal teams carefully assessing the potential brand damage. Even Wall Street took notice, with algorithms tracking minor fluctuations in sponsor stock prices. Amidst this turmoil, one surprising trend emerged. Pre-orders for Sharpe's upcoming memoir surged dramatically. The controversy, however damaging, had inadvertently turned his book into a potential bestseller, highlighting the bizarre economics of modern fame.
Sit your down and go find somebody your age and build a family with them. As I said yesterday, men, we need stability and we need discipline.
And Shannon himself is dropping receipts, and I gotta say, this doesn't look good for his accuser at all.
Beyond the contracts and the headlines, Sharpe attempted to connect on a more personal level. During his live stream, he evoked powerful memories of his grandmother, emphasizing the importance of a good name and family honor over mere wealth. That name is on the line, he stated emotionally, casting the battle as a fight for his fundamental integrity. This moment clearly resonated with many viewers, offering a glimpse of the human cost behind the legal jargon. He framed his aggressive public defense as a necessary departure from the old playbook where silence often allowed accusations to fester unchallenged. Yet the real-world consequences were undeniable. His charitable foundation postponed a major fundraising event, a quiet acknowledgement of the legal uncertainty casting a shadow over everything. The personal toll, the weight of his family legacy, and the sheer pressure of the situation added another complex layer to the unfolding drama, and the path ahead remained treacherous and unpredictable.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I do see some similarities here to the Justin case. Look, Justin has now, and Johnny Depp to his credit as well.
Don't forget, I know what you did to get where you at. Me jealous? Shaq is like a demon, bro.
This entire saga represents an unprecedented gamble. Sharpe has thrown caution to the wind, choosing radical transparency over calculated silence. He's bypassed traditional media gatekeepers, presented his evidence directly to the public, and dared the world to scrutinize it. The legal gears, however, grind on, indifferent to public opinion shifts. A critical motion to dismiss the lawsuit awaits a judge's ruling. If it fails, the discovery process, including potentially explosive depositions, will likely accelerate, each step promising intense media coverage. The shadow of a possible criminal investigation also looms, an unpredictable factor that could dramatically alter the stakes and the evidence required. Academia is already dissecting the Sharpe doctrine of crisis PR, while betting markets place odds on the outcome. This case has become more than just a legal dispute, it's a real-time experiment in reputation management, media power, and the very nature of truth in the digital age.
Yo, I'm like down to apologize to Shaq. That's how, yo, he's too petty.
Lanny J. Davis released a statement characterizing the civil suit as, quote, a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars.
Beyond the headlines and public declarations, a quieter, more technical battle is raging. The fight over digital forensics. Sharpe's meticulously presented receipts rely heavily on metadata, timestamps, and digital records. But in the age of sophisticated manipulation, skepticism runs deep. Online sleuths and potentially opposing legal teams are undoubtedly dissecting every pixel, every timestamp, every bit of compression data in his exhibits. Any alteration, however minute, a mismatched time zone flag, an inconsistent file format could become a devastating crack in his credibility. The specter of deepfakes or cleverly edited audio also looms large. His legal team's preemptive hiring of a cybersecurity firm signals their awareness of this digital battleground.
and they released a series of explicit text messages that they say proved this was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, language, and fantasy scenarios.
Conversely, the explicit text messages released by the plaintiff's side present their own challenge, forcing Sharpe's team to either refute their authenticity or contextualize potentially damaging private conversations within the narrative of a relationship gone wrong. This forensic scrutiny underscores a modern reality. Court battles are increasingly fought not just with witness testimony, but with digital fingerprints that can be both incredibly revealing and dangerously easy to forge.
She alleges that the was brutal, like it was very it was aggressive.
The side that masters this digital terrain may gain a crucial advantage, but the implications stretched far beyond the courtroom walls.
At that point, she said that they were in a they were in an actual relationship. They were in Vegas together. So when that happened, she had already kind of been, in this thing where he's verbally abusive, allegedly, but she thought that they were together.
The Shannon Sharpe saga isn't unfolding in a vacuum. It's sending ripples across the sports media landscape and prompting uncomfortable conversations. Peers and colleagues, both current and former players, watch closely, aware that similar accusations, true or false, could one day target them. The aggressive transparency strategy, while potentially effective for Sharpe, sets a risky precedent.
This woman is alleging that Shannon Sharpe raped her multiple times over the course of a 2-year relationship. The relationship that they had was...
Will future figures feel compelled to expose vast amounts of personal data to fight allegations, blurring the lines between public defense and privacy invasion? Comparisons to other high-profile cases involving athletes and entertainers inevitably surface, each offering potential lessons or warnings about how reputation can be shattered or rebuilt in the public eye.
Who are being falsely accused to drop their receipts in the most public and aggressive way possible, because if you don't, the PR can deem you guilty before you even get to a court of law.
Sponsors and networks are reevaluating risk assessment protocols, understanding that the speed and ferocity of online judgment demand faster, more decisive action, yet also carry the peril of premature condemnation. Ultimately, regardless of the legal outcome, this ordeal will become a permanent chapter in Sharpe's legacy. Will he be remembered as the titan who fought back against false claims with unprecedented openness, or as a figure whose private life controversially spilled into public view? The final judgment remains unwritten, ensuring this story will continue to captivate and provoke debate long after the court delivers its verdict.